Well, Chris Baker, one thing is for sure, E3 is back. I mean, look around you. Look at all these people. Look at all these booths. Look at all these booth babes. There's got to be some here somewhere. I don't know. Trend at E3 this year, very, very clear. It's camera controllers, it's motion controllers. Nintendo had a huge success with the Wii, and now Sony and Microsoft want to make it known that they too are working on controllers that are about you jumping around like an idiot.
Yeah, and I'd say on a related note, what these new controllers mean is what they're trying to do here is not launch a new console, but sort of reinvent their consoles with a completely new play control. You know, no one wants to shell out money for a new console right now, but this is their chance to kind of make it fresh. So I think that's what Sony and Microsoft are focusing on.
It's true, Chris Baker. You know, this is the time, generally in the life cycle of the video game consoles, where companies would start announcing new consoles. You know, not releasing them, but announcing them at E3. And the fact that nobody is talking about new consoles at all, it really is true. They're trying to revitalize their old consoles with new games, new controllers, new ways to play, not making people buy something brand new. Microsoft had Project Natal, a controller that there is no controller, it's a camera, and you just use your body to control games. Sony had something that's sort of a cross between the Wiimote and camera controllers. You hold the controller and the camera tracks the controller, and it can superimpose really cool stuff, you know, onto the controller itself, so it looks like you're holding a sword. And finally, Nintendo said, hey, you know, we've got Wii Motion Plus. Sony's got this controller that's coming out next year. Microsoft's got a controller that's coming out next year. We've got Wii Motion Plus. That's out next week. So actually, if you want to get true one-to-one motion control, you can buy Wii Sports Resort in July.
I guess let's go ahead and talk about how would we rate the press conferences. Well, who would you say had the best one?
Honestly, I feel like they all had equally good press conferences. Sony's was a lot more like, you know, kind of they showed a lot more game trailers and things like that. It was more exciting. But in terms of the number of announcements, I thought that everybody had a couple of big, good new announcements. You know, Microsoft had the camera. Sony had The Last Guardian by the Eco team. And Sony also had Final Fantasy XIV Online exclusive. Nintendo was no slouch either. I mean, besides, you know, new Super Mario Brothers and games like that, they also announced the brand new Metroid game that's going to be made in collaboration between Nintendo and the Ninja Gaiden team. So I think that everybody had pretty big announcements. Well, what do you think?
I'd say so as well. I'm hearing a lot of grumbling that if you fall outside of Nintendo's target demographic, they didn't have much to offer. They actually, the only new controller they demoed was a heartbeat sensor. And we're literally thinking aloud about the possibility of games that don't excite you, but calm you down and put you to sleep.
Video games have been developed to give an increased sense of excitement or stimulation. But it may not be long before games are also used to let people unwind or even make it easier to fall asleep.
And that was maybe a little too on the nose, but I've heard some grumbling about that. I was very excited about some of the demos I saw there. I guess Sony had the most people in the audience whooping and hollering, which is kind of what I associate with a classic E3 press conference.
Well, Sony invited a lot of PlayStation fans to come and sit in the press conference, so they made that happen.
They know what they're doing. For better or for worse, E3 is back.